I'm at the Moski Basin on Isle Royale in the middle of Lake Superior. It's a gorgeous day, and today I'm going to review trekking poles. I would recommend you get a pair of these at really any hike that you're going on. I used to not believe that was such a big deal, but I've had them for several years, and they are indispensable. So the two poles I'm reviewing today, I have the Leki Summit AS, that stands for anti-shock, and I have the Leki Cristallo AS. There's a lot of common features between these two poles. I'll review the Leki Cristallo first. In terms of how you adjust these, there's two type of mechanisms that they have. On the Leki Cristallo AS, it has a speed lock. You open this lever and then it slides in and out very, very easily. What's nice about that is that when you're on the fly, when you're going uphill, you want your poles shorter, and when you're going downhill, you want them longer. If you have the other type of grip, it is a twist lock. You can do it, but you can see it just takes a little bit more time. So if you're moving pretty fast, you're not going to necessarily slow down for that. Some of the poles come with adjustable locks on both the speed locks. This one has just the one speed lock and the twist lock as well. Those are things to look for. Each of the poles, they have markings 100, 105, 110 centimeters. That's graduated so that you can match it. The other thing common to both of these, they have a little cushion. There's springs inside here. That's why they call it anti-shock. And you'll see in a minute when I go downhill, the cam moves up and down a little bit. And what's nice about that is it takes some pressure and shock of your body when you're going downhill. Now, as far as the grips, these are curved, and there's a reason for that. You're going to use these, I call it palming. So basically you put your palm on the top of it to help you push uphill or brace yourself going down. The other thing you'll notice about these, they both have adjustable grips, so you can make this bigger or smaller depending on the size of your arm. It's pretty easy. You just take this and you pull this up, and then you have to you pull this tighter or loosen it, and when you have it so it's easy to get your hand in, you just pull it back down and it's locked in. A couple of the other things to point out about the Summit AS, these have a cork grip, and so for me I would tell you that it's not like they absorb moisture, but it doesn't get sticky and slippery, whereas this other kind, it's a hard rubber composite. Not bad, but I do prefer the cork myself actually. The other thing about these, this is cord strap, very durable. These are more nylon. It's not quite as durable, but again, either one does the trick for you. And this is just a close-up of the different poles. On the bottom, you have the Leki Cristallo AS, and the top, you have the Leki Summit AS. You see, we have a cork grip here, more of a durable rubber grip here. There's a speed lock, and then all the graduated markings here. Finally, you can see the points at the carbide tip, really very grippy on the rocks. And the basket, of course, to give you a little extra pushing power. So here's a safety feature to keep in mind. When you're using these, you're going to take your hand and you're going to put up through the bottom of the grip, just like that. And to use them, this is important. And it's much better than if you're walking and you're just holding it like this, because if you slip and lose your footing, you could very easily drop the pole and come off balance. By putting your hand through here, you're never going to have that happen. You're always going to have that point of stability that helps you. So I will demonstrate going downhill. Again, as I mentioned, going downhill, you'll want the poles longer, and it depends on the grade. If it's a really steep grade, you want them very long. On these adjust up to 145 centimeters. So that's really a pretty big extension. In fact, if you look at it, these are 120 right now. It'd be like this big, pretty large. Last thing I want to tell you is when you're adjusting them on level surface, you see my elbow here is at a 90-degree angle. That is almost perfect. If it's too high, you're not going to get the leverage, and if it's too low, you're going to be working too hard. So when you're adjusting it for your height, make sure it's about a 90-degree angle. With that, let me go downhill, and the key is, as you take a step, you're going to want to put your pole out in front of you. And if you can zoom in here for a second, you see where it says 120? This is the anti-shock. See, it disappears. It's got about 5 centimeters of travel. And what's nice about that is that when you're going downhill hard, it's going to cushion you. It's going to save your wrist. It's going to help your elbow and your shoulder. The other thing I'd point out is when you're going down, you want to put it fully in front of you. You put your weight on it when you go downhill. And that way, if you have it extended straight, as opposed to like this is going to stress your elbow and your shoulder. If you put it straight forward like this, you've got a straight line of force going from the point all the way up to your shoulder. It's going to really help you put the brakes on going downhill. That's the way that works. Going uphill, it's the same concept. What's different here is you're going to use the pole to push yourself uphill with your forearm. And again, this is going to save your quads going uphill and downhill. You can also, if you're going really far uphill, you have a big step. I find many times I will put both poles back and then I do a big step up. You have to play with it. What you can do is practice with them before you get on the trail. I'm going to collapse this now, and I'm going to show you how to put them on your backpack. All packs that have an attachment for poles, they're going to have a little loop on the bottom and a cinch cord here on the side, one on each side of it. It's pretty easy. You just put the bottom through, and then you take this, you put it through the cinch cord, and you pull it shut. So if you don't feel like using your poles, super easy on and off. If you're with a hiking partner, they can help you without having to take your pack off. Definitely gets the job done. Before I wrap up, I just want to say these poles, I'm not sure if they're still available. I've had them for multiple years, and I just share that because I can tell you they're very durable. I've used them all over the world on lots and lots of different tracks, and to me, it's just an essential piece of gear. When you're choosing your pair of poles, just look at the features I shared. The anti-shock is mission critical. Speed locks are nice if you can afford it. The cork grip, I prefer that myself. If you choose to pick some up, I hope that you got some value out of this video, and I just encourage you to get out there. Thanks again for checking in.